let's kick this off and get this going. In the bottom left-hand side, it is going to be our red Zerg player from PvZ Gaming. It is Solar. As we go into our last quarterfinal of the WardiTV Summer Championship, in the top right-hand side, our blue Protoss from Alpha X, it is Classic. Yeah, and thanks to the love, guys. Yeah, Ali is the reason. I didn't do Asus NA qualifier last night, and I really thought I really wanted to. But I have to wake up, like, I haven't woke up the last couple of days at 6 AM, but my body in general is just on such an earlier schedule than usual that there was just no way I was staying awake until 1 AM last night. Not at all, so we had a little bit of, I really did. I was like lying in bed, and I was like, no, I'm just having a little rest, and I was like, no, I'm way too tired. I was like, there's just no way, so blame Ali as we do kick off into this PvZ best of 5 as we go into Beckett Industries. So Beckett Industries for game 1 of the series. What a way to start things off. Let's see who's going to take this down. Classic's been really good since return. He's genuinely looked very way better than I thought he was going to be, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm being genuinely impressed by the level of some of the returning players from the military lately. It's been actually very cool. I've been just very happy to see them all doing very well and actually playing to a good level in online tournaments and stuff, you know. It's been very, very enjoyable to watch. So shout out to all the pros that have come back from the military with a fighting attitude and ready to get playing again, and especially someone like Classic who has really looked good. I mean, he topped his group, can I just remind you guys. He topped his group of Marine Lord, Bunny, Hero, and a Laser. He only lost to Hero, who actually didn't win another match in the group. So yeah, Classic top in his group here. He got straight to the round of 8. Now let's see how he does in the playoffs. Tough match. Solar is always a very solid opponent, a very well-rounded opponent. So this isn't one where it's like, oh yeah, just going to sneak in a nice little win. No, it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be given to you easily, put it that way, that's for sure. So we will see what Classic comes up with in the series, as we do start off with a Stargate to begin with in game number 1. So yeah, just going to be seeing our warp gate coming through, and that link speed building from Solar as well. So all of that coming up as we just have our Adept of Classic coming forwards to try and put on a little bit of pressure early in the game. Just going to come through, and obviously Link's chasing it, so it won't do too much. Beckett is very dangerous for the shortness of this map and the rush distance, right? So that is one thing to keep in mind for sure. As I do see that Adept going to shade on into the 3rd, and just keep an eye on that. And yeah, the gateway just going to finish up on the natural, so just going to get that underway. And our Oracle is chrono boosting out, getting that up and rolling. Adept shades out over that right-hand side. Now, this is going to be a fun matchup, I think. A series which I really expect a lot of fun stuff in. I expect Solar to play fairly aggressive, but I'd be surprised if we didn't see like 1 or 2 longer games as well. So yeah, I think we could... I don't know if a longer game is going to happen on Beckett. To me, this is a map where we're absolutely guaranteed the Queen Walk initially, right? So, in my eyes, that's where we're going to start in the series, but as the games go by and we get some other maps, I think we are going to have some good chances of some longer games, some back and forth stuff. I think we could get into some really fun action, so excited to see how it all continues to play out as Lings and drones are rallying together. Overlord's on the way up as well here, and that fleet beacon building from Classic in the main base right now. Just getting that started as we'll also place down this pylon to the side of the main. And we're going to go straight second Stargate. Wow, so second Stargate fleet beacon. We're going to play into carriers or Tempests. I mean, Tempests are good on this map. Dead airspace here, hit the 3rd. Dead airspace here, hit the main. But there's not any other alterations you can do. Certain maps you can hit the 3rd and the main base from kind of one dead airspace, or you can alternate between them, and that makes it a bit tougher to defend with Tempests. So I would personally maybe say carriers here for that reason, because carriers don't really care as much about the terrain of the map and the way in which the map works. We're going to see Tectonic destabilizers, though, so I am very, very wrong. He is going to go Tempest. I mean, it can still work. I just feel like there's other maps which are better for this style. That said, I don't think I've ever seen anyone do this with the Tempest upgrade. More damage to buildings. I mean, that's very, very intriguing. 2 probes go down as that one Ling chases for another probe here as well, by the way. So this probe going to get caught. Yeah, I mean, we're actually going to go to, like, just more than just 2 Tempests as well. We're already building Tempest number 3. And yeah, I guess that makes sense. If you're going to get the Tempest upgrade, you're really going to try and make a play with it. What can we do? Do you think you can bust down, like, a hatchery or something crazy? I mean, that would be really, really wild if Classic was able to do something like that. That would be really special. As the Spire continues up, that's already coming through here. I'm just going to see our Roach speed continuing in as well. So, Solar has the right idea. Obviously, the Spire is the go-to. It is what you need to defend against this 100%. Yeah, right idea. Overseer actually sees these Tempests as well, as 3 of them move out across the map. Well, Spores ain't going to help very much, because you can bet your socks that the Spores are just going to get shot down instantly with that upgrade. So, I actually don't like the Spores building here. Don't know how much that's really going to help, as the Tempests fire a little bit initially. Blue shots for when they're hitting the queens, and when they hit buildings, that'll change, so you can see they're doing things a little different. Oh no, sorry, they fire orange when their upgrade completes on anything, but obviously that means that they're going to do bonus damage to the ground. Sorry, I got it wrong. That would have been cool though if they changed colors, they hit the different things, wouldn't it? Maybe the technology just isn't there yet, guys. Trading with these queens from afar, of course. I actually don't mind the Spore so much now, because you can kind of see how the Spore can help to zone the Tempest a little bit, and you got to put some attention into dealing with it, although, yeah, I guess if you just do deal with it, then it's really not as much of an issue. No transfusions left, mind you, as there is a Ling Roach counter into the main base of Classic, so he's losing quite a few probes. These Tempests are still healthy, though, and the Queens are going down, but 14 Corruptors are on the way, and that might just spell the end of this game number 1 for Classic, because if these Tempests get taken down, well, then he's in some trouble. I mean, he does have a lot of them. 6 Tempests still. They just don't trade well against Corruptors is the issue, right? Like, you're not even one-shotting here right away, and then the Corruptors will start to kill you off. That's the real issue. We're going to recall out. 1 Tempest gets left behind, and oh no, he lost another Tempest that was recalling before that, so only 3 Tempests get out alive. I mean, Void Rays obviously help against the Corruptors. I just don't know if Classic has enough to really turn the Corruptors around, or if the Corruptors are just going to dominate this. Corruptors flying to the main. Everything was actually at the 3rd, so we're going to start Caustic spraying down the Stargates. Well, 2 extra Voids are going to finish up there, and the Stargates will not be denied, as we do see the Voids popping their prismatic alignments. The Corruptors dive through. There's just too many Corruptors. Well played by Solar, and just some cool damage up until this point as well. Some run-bys and stuff that picked off a few probes, slowing down that economy of Classic from getting established, etc. So this will take down 1 more Void Ray, another one going to be chased, although then the Super Battery activates and going to be healing that up a little bit. Azel's going to join up on the right-hand side and gain +1 flyer attack. Continuing through on the Spire at the moment, as these Corruptors are going to take a turn and go back to the center. Charge coming up, Voids and Temple Archives all building. Do have our Ling Roach Queen starting to get ready to push. I mean, you've cleaned out so much of the Corruptors already. Why not just go and attack? The main force of Classic has been weakened substantially. As a probe on that right side, looking for, what, a 4th base over there? Well, I feel like Solar did him a favor by not letting him even begin to build that, because that would have never stuck around. I mean, there's just not really an army of Classic right now, as he's going to have Zealots that do not have Charge as the primary army. Obviously, that's just unfortunate, because, you know, Charge isn't ready yet, so the idea is good for Classic, just the timing is not, and Solar is going to win out on Beckett Industries to start this series with a big old W. So Solar 2 in the top left-hand side, up 1-0 is going to be our red Zerg player. It is Solar. In the bottom right, we do have our blue Protoss player from Alpha X. It is Classic. Alright, Chrono boosting on that next. This is a couple of drones continuing through. It's going to rally up into the main base. And that gateway building at the front as well, as our probe of Classic is going to go rallying across the map. Getting set on up. Hatch gas pool all coming through as we get this underway. And nothing really too weird. Even the hatchery going down on the natural is obviously a little bit unique as well. This has happened more often lately, where the hatchery does not get blocked by a probe early game. That's something to keep in mind as this probe and drone going to go fighting against each other. And just going to be seeing our cybernetics core setting up from Classic at the front. So that will begin to build. The Overlord will be pulling back down to the bottom right. Our simulator is building in the pylon off over to the left. Two queens continue to come on through and just going to be continuing to build up a little bit. Nexus on the way through as well. Just going to drop our probe down. So far so good. We wait for see the tech, and it is going to be a Stargate. No real surprise on that one. It'll be interesting. I mean, a best of 5, and especially if a best of 5 goes the distance, it'll be interesting to see how much Classic switches it up. If he gets 3-0'd or something, I could imagine this maybe just being Stargate every game and a different variation of Stargate each game. But yeah, the longer the series goes, the more chance you have of maybe seeing something like a Twilight Council being introduced to the strategy board. So definitely some possibility there, as we do have our Link Speeders building, our Queen coming through. A lot getting ready to go at the moment. This one Adept already moving out to the center. And looking for a bit of damage, a bit of information as well, of course, trying to keep up to date with what exactly Solar is doing at the moment. Just working for that at the moment. Gets turned around. Push back through the middle of the map. Link speed going to be finishing up on that spawning pool, and as we get the link speed done, we're also going to be having ourselves a Void Ray coming on up. Gateway building. A couple more queens coming through. Really just waiting for the tech still, right? To see exactly what we do after this one Void Ray. How quick do we take a third base maybe from Classic? Very quick actually, 345, so he puts that down immediately. And that probably means that we're going to be seeing ourselves with a couple of gases, +1 air weapons, and into double Stargate. Oh, no. A Twilight off such a fast third. The Twilight off such a fast third isn't usually normal, right? Usually you go Twilight before you would go third base. If I'm not mistaken. So actually that's going to be some Glaive Adept setups. Okay, well, a little different, a little funky, but I can appreciate it as we do see this Oracle showing up and forces one drone to become a Spore Crawler. That's going to be seeing our Roach Roaring continue to build on that natural expansion with the Lair as well. And then 2 more gases, so Solar might already be looking towards something like a Queen Walk here. As these Adepts are going to shade in. No Glaives yet, just shading in so soon is very risky, because if you lose these Adepts, it's going to depower the timing of your Glaives attack. End up shading up into the main base, where a few more Zerglings will be picked away at, will go down. 2 drones already picked off here. Going to go a Robo Facility behind this too, so that shows you a little bit more about what the follow-up is. I can't believe that these first Adepts have actually been so chaotic without Glaives or anything, and I hope Solar... Okay, he's making a lot of drones right now. I hope he doesn't get too caught up on the drone train, thinking like, oh, right, cool, dealt with the Adepts, there can't be anything else coming, right? Time to just kind of keep on droning. Because that's when you could have a much bigger problem when the next round of Adepts show up, even if there are 4 less than usual. I mean, you've killed 8 drones here. Some of these coming through from this Oracle as well, as it picks up 4 drones on the third base. Link is trying to run by. You see a couple more Adepts. Does he see the Twilight Council there? He does know about the Twilight Council, so Roaches need to start building, and they need to keep building right now. And he does start to get a few up as he'll go all the way to 56 workers. A Forge coming through, and we're getting ready to drop down some upgrades there as well. And across the map we go with all of those adepts making their way through to the other side. The Ling's going to try and dive in for a couple of probes. We do have the Oracle and the Void able to turn those Lings away too. And again, loads of adepts are making their way out to the upper side here as they come in towards this natural expansion. Roaches taking some hits. The Queen going to be taking a lot of damage as well. Yeah, these drones continue to take a few shots as our adepts shade up in towards the main base where they are able to get rid of, well, what, 4 more drones so far? 4 more workers going to be dropping off there, make that 8, 9, 10. A lot of workers keep on dropping. 11, 12 drones now dead. Jeez, we're going to be seeing our other adepts continue to come on through. 14, 15 workers, my goodness. The adepts have done serious damage to start this second game off. I mean, this is all on top of, what, the 10 workers we killed earlier as well? 26 drones dead in this game for 20 adepts. Now, the big threat at this stage would be Solar Queen walking, and that's exactly what he will do. It's a massive army supply. How well prepared is Classic? This is where that Robo being built earlier comes into play, because he's now got an Immortal already set to go. That's obviously going to help a fair amount, as we do see our Void Ray activating. Our Roach is already taking some damage here. Double Bile's going to break down the force fields, of course, but I'd say already good defense for Classic. He's picked off a lot of units already. The Void being able to fight before the Queens arrived, and those Immortals just chunking away at Roaches. They did a lot. There's not a lot of stack defense here. 2 batteries, one in the back overcharges immediately. Maybe even a bit too soon, because Solar's just going to back away, although that might be because of the super battery. I'd say actually it's still going to get some love out of it, because we re-engaged a little bit. Immortal's still working through this. These Zerglings being picked away at. You see 2 more Adepts warping in. 1 Immortal goes down. And these other Zerglings still being picked away at as well. Corrosive Vile's going to be dodged by that Immortal. And we are going to see our Adept, Immortal, Stalker continuing through this. The Roach is still being picked away at as well. And just going to be seeing our Lings continuing through to the other side of the map. As we do see our Corrosive Vile's dropping down. A Pylon going to be taken down as well. And that's going to be another Immortal getting picked away at. Adepts dodge out the way. And then just going to be seeing all of these Ravages continuing to fall again and again and again. Couple more bars connecting. Just going to be seeing this army of Classic. Looks as though it's making a hold, right? I mean, he has to pull the probes a little bit. I guess it is close, but the Queens are gone. 2 Immortals still alive. These batteries not having power kind of sucks, but one of them gets power back now, so can do a little bit of healing. We've got Super Battery available again. And with Adept shading forwards, Classic is going to get on top of this Roach Ravager of Solar, and that is going to be chased down, and that is going to be Classic defending the Queen Roach Ravager attack. And now he's got +1, he's got Blink on the way, +2 started with that Blink. I mean, now Classic sets himself up brilliantly for the next stage of this game as well, for sure. So, looking pretty good here for Classic. Really like where he's at. I mean, up 14 workers. Solar is just building units to go again. So all Classic really needs to do is keep on pumping out Immortals, and making sure he's got his stack defense repowered would be very good as well. So he can defend on this third one more time. Obviously, it's tough to know exactly what Solar is doing, but I think he's set up well. And even keeping some units on the ramp as well. Just going to try and keep those back a little bit. Gonna see our Immortals coming back through. Ling's gonna start wrapping around from the other side. Super Battery goes off. Nice surround. Gonna get the Corrosive Viles on the Immortal. The Super Battery did get onto that battery on the Immortal on the top. I wonder if that was target fired, because it almost looked like it was a last-ditched effort to keep it alive. I wonder if it just auto-fired onto it. I might go back and check that in a moment or two, because I think this game's about to end. 3 Immortals are still going to hold. And Solar types out GG to give Classic this game. I want to just go back like 30 seconds here to when that Immortal's about to die, because it looked like that battery was just like the perfect timing of like swapping onto the Immortal to heal. That's a good move with Solar if these Lings wrapping around, you know? Yeah. House hit. I don't think so. It's just, there was nothing else to heal and it swapped onto it. Just fortunate timing to kind of give it that boost to healing. It just almost looked intentional, right? Just thought it was worth checking. Sometimes you miss cool plays if you don't check them, right? The corner of the map will be starting off this game on Oxide with our red Zerg player Solar. Taking on the blue Protoss in the bottom left corner of the map from Alpha X, we have got Classic. As we ready ourselves into this game number 3. Had to stop and count there for a moment or two, but we got there, Got there in the end. What are we thinking, guys? Maybe cheering in this one. I think it's cool to see Classic taking the game, if nothing else. I mean, we know he's good. He played well in the group stages. He won his group, remember, to get this far anyway. So, I mean, don't doubt the fact that he's good in the first place. Just, yeah, excited to see what we get now. As we kick this off and get this rolling. Game 3 of our best of 5. Yeah, no, I think Classic is good enough to take maps. Can he take a full best of 5? I think that's the real challenge, and that would be really impressive if he could. Remember, the winner of this plays Trap in the semifinals with Bjorn and Kua on the bottom side of the bracket as well. So yeah, that obviously is how the bracket is looking right now. And those semifinals and finals will play tomorrow, of course. Make sure you tune in for that and come watch the games. See how this whole tournament wraps up. See who we're going to be crowning as the WardiTV Summer Champion for 2021. A Nexus building from Classic already, so just getting that up and rolling. I know Wardy pointing out the obvious, but just trying to fill some dead air because not much else is going on. Oxide, I mean, another one where Queen Walks are prominent. Definitely a map where you could see Solar bringing out the aggression once again, I would imagine. Would not put that past him. There is the Stargate from Classic to kick us off again. Now, obviously, 2 times so far we've seen kind of a Stargate with a twist. And double Stargate, Flip Beacon's a little bit of a weird one. Stargate into the Twilight is a little bit funky. Not super non-standard or anything, but you know, it's not that straight up standard way of playing Stargate, of just playing a macro Stargate, double Stargate, Void kind of game, or multiple Oracles. That's what we haven't seen yet from Classic, and that's something I would like to see. I am just afraid of, like I say, it being a good Queen Walk map, and maybe that being something you could Queen Walk against. As our Queen comes down this ramp, and that Adept does get chased away with the Shade moving through, so cancelling toward the end. I'd like to see just, an Oracle first? Yeah, okay, still not super weird, though. I would like to see, like, a double Stargate Void into, like, Robo or something. Maybe play those Disruptors on a follow-up, like, nice quick Disruptors, help you try and defend some of those Queen Walks and so on. I think that would be kind of cool. There's a second gate. There's our Void Ray. And let's follow the Oracle across the map for perhaps some initial damage on Oxide. Oracle all the way to the upper right there. Just getting into position. It's going to sit just shy of the main as he waits for the 2 Adepts to make a move and maybe see what he can do there. Kills the drone. That was going to be an Evo Chamber to block the Adepts off. And now the Oracle will go into the main, Spore and 2 Queens, and that's a dead Oracle. Stuck around too long. 5 drones as the Adept shade into the main for 6, and they will get 7 before done. I mean, 7 drones is obviously nothing to be laughed at, but it did cost you everything, right? 2 Adepts, and specifically the Oracle is a very expensive part of this as we go Twilight Forge, following up from the single Void Ray. Single Void Ray, which is, he finished the Void Ray, right? Yes, where is it? So on the right side. So this Overlord going into the natural, into the main is going to get good information right now as to what the heck's going on. So yeah, this Overlord's going to get a decent scout, although that said, the tech is actually on the natural, so maybe you can come back and kill that. The Void Ray is still being used as a defense on the 3rd base, however, so those Lings being annoying and giving that Overlord a much longer lifespan than expected, given the situation. Overlord is going to be met now by this Void Ray. We'll be taking some shots. As the Adept and the Zealot, just going to keep those Lings pinned back as well. They're going to try and run up, but running headfirst into a Zealot obviously doesn't really bode too well for you. As again, the Roach Roaring is on the way up, so just bringing that into play right now as our Zerglings of Solar go back toward the upper right-hand side. So they're going to go and nibble away at these rocks a little bit. Just opening up the map. I did end up with this topside third base, which doesn't immediately kind of, mean that you're going to be queen walking per se, but you could still queen walk from here, especially if these rocks go down, you queen walk down the center. Very plausible. Of course, queen walking into, Archons and Charge Bots, etc. is not really the best way of playing, as we see a whole bunch of gates coming through. And this could be a swarm of units in the near future from Classic. It puts some real pressure on. Let's see how that plays out for him. Let's see exactly what he wants to do with it. 6 more gates all coming up, so a real surge of gateways here all of a sudden as an Archon is seen. Picks off a Zergling. It's a good scouting, at least from Solar. He's never really been left to be caught off guard, right? He's always somewhat well in the know as to what exactly is taking place. I think plenty of roaches on the way. Still on 67 drones. All he really needs in this situation is more units, making sure you just don't get overwhelmed or anything. There's a few drones going down to the Adepts. Shade into the Natural again. Archon's going to show up and get actually not a bad couple connections. Oh my god! The drones stack back up. He does end up getting 10 in total from the Adepts and the Archons, but for a moment it looked like that could have been oh so much worse as well, as all those drones came back just a moment too soon. And if the Archons connected on all of them when they stacked up, that is when you start talking about having a complete and utter disaster. So, fortunate moment from Solar. Classic not quite able to capitalize in full. Comes back in though, and I gotta say, credit to these Archons, they've been putting some work in. Solar's just been making units though, and the question will be, do you have enough units back at home to defend this as Classic? Stack defense is minimal to say the best, and the rest of it just building now. It might not be the Queens walking across the map, but it doesn't even need to be the Queens walking across the map right now. The Queens are walking across the map as well. Sorry, I missed those. I thought it was just the Roach Ravager. I guess why the hell not bring the Queens, right? If you're going to commit to something like this, that's a dead pile on powering 2 Robos and 2 gates. And Classic just doesn't have the units to defend this, right? He just does not have what he needs, and that is just going to be a kind of a sad end to a game which he did actually good damage in, just never had the units ready to go. It's somewhat the problem sometimes with this style as well, as this attack just completely overwhelms Classic. It ain't even close. And we are going to see Solar taking it to match point. And a chance at a WardiTV semi-final. If he can just win one more. Classic having a tap out there. A lonely down timer, or the game count timer on the... tells you how long the replay is, basically. If I don't hit the buttons right. I personally always look at the bottom of the screen, so I don't know. I just glimpse out the corner of my eye if it's there or not, but didn't want to obviously show on stream, even if it was for half a second or so, just in case. Because someone will spoil it then, Someone's like, well, this game is only 74 minutes long, Wardy. I think Classic's gonna rush. I put 2 and 2 together. Alright, so, again, winner of this plays Trap in the semifinals. And yo, what's up, Shmang? Shmang? Shmang. I feel like I have to say our name with a weird twang to it. Well, the 2-month resub on the Prime. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Alright, a drone across the map early. This time around, it's maybe Solar to bring a little bit of intrigue to the game. Is he just gonna block the Nexus, or is there something else at play here? He does hatchery first himself. So hatchery first himself, so I guess 3 hatch with the intention of just blocking the Nexus of his opponent. That gets set up right now. In we go, and the probe ain't here to actually block this, so this is going to go down successfully, and Classic will have to play around this. So just going to be seeing the probe nibbling. More probes pulled, so he's just going to go for the probe pull against it. Some people will start a second gate against this, some people will start a forge. I think the probe pull is one of the cleanest ways. It will hurt your economy. You've got to remember that whatever you hurt your economy for, Solar is also much later on his own pool and stuff back at home, usually, to be able to do this, especially if it's 3 hatch like this. So yeah, it says there is kind of consequences for the Zerg. And with the Zealot out, this actually goes down pretty quick. Classic actually pulled out maybe more probes than usual. I think 5 probes in the Zealot will kill it before it finishes. But by pulling a couple extra, he just gets the damage and to kind of kill it off a little sooner, and it really doesn't even delay the Nexus by that much. Obviously, the lost mining time has to add in here and stuff as well, though, so you've got to consider that too. As you see the Adept chrono boosting away on that gateway, and this drone is going to end up sneaking out back to the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Run, droney, run. Run, droney, run. Hey, Oswevo, thank you so much for the 21-month resub as well. I appreciate the little... What would have been a hype train had the hype train not been on cooldown, guys. Thanks for the sub love. Much appreciated. Zal does come across to put on a little bit of pressure at least. Now backs away as Adepts will shade on through. And now the Adept comes in with the Zealot combined. So a fun little combo and a deadly combo too, potentially. Obviously, fighting these Lings can go very well with the Zealot and Adept. And that's exactly what we're starting to see, basically, to get this underway. So already a good start. And actually making good work on that Queen. Do we kill it? I mean, it runs from the Zealot. It's low. Can the Adept finish it? Adept shading away. Queen survives. A little bit of a shame, but not the end of the world. Second Adept coming back in. I don't think this Queen should still be at the front, by the way. I think this one should have maybe taken the chance to leave while it could. Classic's going to see that Queen. He's going to get the Creep Tumor. Please get the Creep Tumor. He does get the Creep Tumor. That goes so well for you. Slows down a lot of what the Zerg can do pushing out of their base. And now these Adepts going to get 3 drones, 4 drones. No surround the Lings. Also not killing right there. Move commanding instead. Now this Queen will go down too. We're going to try and shade the Adept away as he gets one more drone as he runs. This Adept will go down before it shades, but still fantastic damage dealt. Don't think we can go complaining about that. Well, a lot of Lings will start to move across the map, so away they go. As we do have the group of them just going to go in towards the natural expansion there. And Overlord going to escape from the main base as well, so that's just going to be... pulling back a little bit. Those Lings continue to jump on the Adept, and just going to see another Ling or so going down. This Void Ray going to pump out of the Stargate here as well, so just bringing that through the Oracle of Classic, heading down the bottom left. I mean, it's just fantastic damage early. Classic's at 39 probes and still 6 workers ahead of Solar. So he has a really good economy set up for himself right now. As this Oracle may do damage as well, it's going to force 2 drones to become spores. Obviously, 1 drone got killed already. And now this Oracle is going to still be active to get 1 more drone in the main. So again, all of this damage adding up as Classic has a third about to be finished as well. So that's going to be a pretty big deal. Man, Classic is absolutely running away with 2,000 atmospheres at the moment. This is going in his favor for now. Twilight Council and the Forge going to be finishing up fairly soon. A couple of Queens setting up on the 3rd base. The Oracle wants to dive back in and will get a drone. Dark Shrine building from Classic, getting that up and running. Just going to see the Oracle back around too. I don't mind the Dark Shrine. Bit of harassment. Maybe even just get some Archons up as he also goes for the Robo facility. I'm excited because Classic is kind of primed and set up in this game. And if you can take this game, we go to 5 maps. And honestly, I wasn't expecting 5 maps in this series. I thought Solar might be just a little bit too good today, as we do see the Adept picking off 1 drone. And it's all going to pick off 1 more Adept there in the corner as well, so able to clean that out. As we do have our lair about to finish, our Roach Roaring to be done in a moment. And Temple Archives is about halfway done also, so all of this still coming through. The Robo facilities about to finish. And a few extra gates, etc. Coming up. Ooh, Ling run by into the Nat, into the main. Big damage to be done here, perhaps. There's a couple of Zealots will fight in the main base already. The probes pulling the natural. Obviously, mining time loss. Only 4 probes so far. Could have been a lot worse. A lot of lost mine time, though. The entire natural was pulled away, and then the main base has been pulled away until just now. This actually turns into 7 workers killed. He doesn't quite get the last for 8, but really good damage out of Solar. Really good damage done. Full scout, of course, as well. Sees Temple Archives. Sees the Robo. Sees all the gateways built, and he should have a pretty good read that Classic is probably readying to attack here in the next few moments. Oh, this is, I mean, it is just as Classic, I think, does want to attack, right? Prism finishing it, line it with +1. Oh, and Solar's just, I mean, Infestation Pit and +1 missiles, so he is attacking while building units. He actually does have less army supply right now, needs to make sure he keeps building the units, right? Just make sure you get as much as possible. Lava count, only 2, so is waiting perhaps on a bit of lava. Oh my god, a hydrogen as well? Okay, I think Solo's going a bit too greedy. I think with the hydrogen coming down as well, I mean, it just sort of says that he's not... Oh my god, he's built some drones too. I actually don't really think Solo quite realized how many units there were going to be coming out here. It's a lot of Zealots, and they do use their charge on the initial Queen, but now pushing forward, I mean, some Zerglings going to show up. The Archons will be great against those. I mean, we're going to kill the Overseer. Does that maybe give us a chance to get some DTs in play? Might not even matter. We might not even need them, because we just keep on pushing forward, and these Roaches are being chased away. And this is not looking good at all. Adepts on the third base are killing some drones as well. Target firing through. No damage on the Prism. GG from Solar. And Classic will tie the series 2-2. And we are going to a game 5. In the top right-hand corner of the map, our final map of the day of the quarterfinals. After this, our semi-finals will be fully set in the top right. We do have our red Zerg player, Solar. On the left, you have our blue Protoss player. It's going to be Classic. Let's see some hype in the chat, guys. One of these players is going to be eliminated. The other will be advancing to that semi-final matchup. Will Classic give us some PvP? Will Solar give us the ZVP? All going to be found out right here, right now, in this final map on Jag and Natha. Getting that up and ready to party. Probe is coming in and gonna get some drones nibbling onto it. So the probe taking some damage here to begin with right away. Lots of love for Classic in the chat. Lots of Classic high. Not surprising. You know, it'd be really cool to see Classic make a really big run in this event, and I think we know he's good enough as well. I mean, he went 5 games against Zest in the GSL Code A matches, and if he was able to do that, then I'm sure you could probably put up a fight against Trap tomorrow as well. Maybe there'd be some Classic magic, who knows. Thank you, Cronus, for the Prime for the 7 months. Says, thanks, Wardy, for your SC2 passion. Thank you for the passion of 7 months of resubscribing. Cybercore, you're going to be done in a moment here, as you have our Overlord chilling out at the front. So it's just going to be hanging around a little bit. And Zergling's speed already building from Solar in the main base. Now this probe comes out to the front as well. Ready to drop down a... well, he's ready to spot, not drop down anything, but spot for a third base. But the third will go over to the top side. So setting that up over there. Stargate opening from Classic again, but he's done so many different things behind this Stargate. Hard to say that I'm really, you know, it would be hard-pressed to say that I'm kind of... just one of those things, right, where you just kind of like, well, what are we going to see this time? Hard-pressed to say what it's really going to be. You know, he's had so many different ways to set up this far. As the probe comes out down the bottom. Someone putting some damage in, Adept taking some hits. Adept does get chased away. Gonna drop an inject down on the natural. Third hatchery is setting up on the top left side as well. So all of that coming through. Link speed about to be done. Oracle is just popping out, and that's going to start rallying forwards as well. As we do have the Adept pulling back to that left side as well. A probe still set there with this. And just going to be seeing the Void Ray Corona boosting out of the Stargates. So getting that up and running. A few more drones still coming out. A couple of spores still being built. Creep Tumor coming down to the front as well. Just going to be seeing ourselves... Well, I mean, really, I'm watching what Classic wants to get up to, right? That third base came down, similar to what he did in the previous game. He ended up going Twilight and stuff. When he went on that for that setup on Lightshade. Was it Lightshade? I can't remember. They ended up going for the Twilight, and I was like, wow. 2 more gases do come down, though, so... Got the 2 extra gases, and it is going to be Twilight and Forge again. So Classic Can still play his own kind of style here, right? Not double Stargate Void Ray in it. Gonna keep it kind of interesting in that regard, as Alaire already building up on this main base and these couple of queens. So they're gonna come back through from the top side. The Oracle goes around to the right. 7-11. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. I'll shout those out properly after this game. Let's see, final game of the day. Let's see how it goes down. It is starting to get interesting as Classic's build choices come on through. Forge, Twilight Robo, +1. Charge and just Immortal Production? Is that where we go? Okay, gonna play a Blink. Okay, so +1 and Blink coming up initially. I was just gonna be seeing our Void Ray continue to push the Lings out to that right-hand side. The lair is about to be finished. I'm just gonna be seeing a game with that Robo finishing up. A chance to get some bits and pieces out from there. Now, what is Solo going to get up to in this game? He's still droning, so nothing too aggressive. An immediate Infestation Pit. So an Infestation Pit right away and an Evolution Chamber further back as well. Looks like he wants to set up for maybe going into Ward Hive pretty quickly here. I don't imagine we want to play Infestors or anything as a Robo comes through from Classic. I wonder if Classic just plays. I wonder if he'll play Disruptor or if he might play Colossus. Feels like you've got a bit of a choice there, really. Hallucination's going to bring that Overlord back into the main. 4 more gates coming up. The Overseer of Solar is going to come through. And is going to be able to sit up overhead again. Just gets a full scout on what Classic is up to for the most part. At least the structure-wise and the timing of this production-wise. Maybe didn't see the Robo Bay? That's right here, though. So he's going to see it before he loses the Overseer. So he should know what's up. It's going to be a Disruptor to start off with. As Solar's going to go... yeah. For some reason, every time we see Infestation Pit... I completely forget about the possibility of going into, like, Hydra Lurker. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why it happens a fair amount. I just seem to keep forgetting that that can be a thing in this matchup when there's not, like, a big air on me. So, yeah, that's exactly what Soul's going to do. He's going to take the chance to play into Lurkers this time. But already on the way to a lot of Disruptors. Classic, a lot of potential to bust through Lurkers. Actually, really don't mind Classic spotting this game at all as he gets ready to set up a 4th base as well. And I wonder what Solo will try and do in this game. He's, what, a minute away from getting his Lurker done, and then we still got to get Lurker upgrades going. Classic's already going for a bit of a push on the map, and what a timing it would be to actually push with, right? Because pushing right now is just as you're at that kind of point where, you know, the Lurkers obviously aren't up. You can maybe start to make Hydras, but they're not going to be upgraded or anything either. So a lot of the tech is in play right now from Classic, but not for Solar. The one thing I do worry about more than anything is he Disruptor shots down a Creep Tumor is that the Robos haven't been used for anything other than, mostly just Disruptors, aka where's the Warp Prism? If you really wanted to push and so on, you're kind of going to need a Prism, and that is not going to come through here as 3 Vipers now are on the way. Viper's a great addition against those Disruptors. Obviously, if you can abduct the Disruptors, you can stop them from firing, and that can obviously mean that then you don't get the clean out on the Lurkers that you're looking for, and that can make life a whole bunch more complicated. Ling's into the main and natural. He just cancelled the battery that was going to wall this off because it was blocking the Disruptors in. So this time the Lings are actually going to do okay to get in, and then obviously will be dealt with in the main base as, oh, maybe one more probe goes down. It will fall. Seismic Spine's on the way up as Classic is going to be moving to the front a little bit. A group of Zerglings are going to go on a journey around the right-hand side, and Classic continues up the left side, up towards the top of the map. Okay, well, this Ling counterattack needs to be... This Zealot needs to get in the freaking wall! No! Oh my god, the run-bys are problematic because now you're distracted. You've got to go deal with that while also trying to push forward here, and it's such a good time for you to push, although the Disruptor shots to start are amazing. I don't know if we needed to fire 4 Disruptors at once, though. Maybe that was a panic on A, trying to deal with this run-by, and B, also seeing the Vipers. Maybe wanted to throw a bunch of shots out all at the same time, just so that not everything got abducted, maybe? Not sure. More Lings, as these Lings are just putting on a show. Classic really struggling to keep his mind up and running back at home properly. And now it feels as though Solo got the time needed to set up over here. Another set of just masses of Disruptors all at once. I like the idea of that because I think in theory it kind of works out. The Disruptor shots are huge again. Classic has amazing Disruptor shots so far. Force fields across the top side. And we are going to be seeing Zealot Stalker continue to fight a little bit. Lings continue to come on through. Lurkers wanting to set up. I mean, the Disruptors were not responded to by the Vipers. The Vipers have just sat there. They've still got full energy. Oh yeah, now we abduct a couple, but Disruptor shot's still going off, and there's not even the damage to kill the Disruptors as they move on forward. Classic is going to keep on pushing. Can he deal with that last Lurker? Well, he's got a Prism here, so he can reinforce in a second as well. He's already killed a few drones. He's got an Oracle for the Revelation. The last Lurker goes down, and we are pushing forward in Classic. Is he about to step into the semi-finals? Disruptor shot fires. Roaches will go down. Disruptor still being chased away. One more Disruptor shot. Boom on a couple more Roaches as Classic keeps it going. Continues to come on in. I mean, these drones have to go running out as well, and Sulla is just in a world of trouble. He can't deal with this as the hatchery goes down. And I mean, he just doesn't have units left over. Like, again, you can abduct these Disruptors, and that's great and all, but what does it really do? He drops down a bunch of blinding clouds, and Classic takes the series 3-2. Classic is going to the semi-finals. I am genuinely shocked. I actually thought this was absolutely a solo series. Wow. I genuinely thought this was going to be a really good... Like, I really thought Classic could put up a fight.